Okay, it's now 6:08. I will go ahead and call our special meeting to order. The items on the agenda tonight are executive session items 1, 2, 3, and 3. And then for any action that we might take, we will adjourn our briefing session, and then we will be back in for any action that needs to be taken. So at this time, I will go ahead and call us together. I've given you the time. And the items that we're going to cover tonight in here in executive session will be City Council shall convene and close executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to consult with city attorney and/or special legal counsel to seek legal advice concerning the notice of a willful violation by a council member of Article 2, Section 2.10 of the Duncanville Home Rule Charter, and to seek legal advice concerning procedural requirements for violations, if any. And we're going to take these all in one executive session order. Number 2, City Council shall convene and close executive session pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to seek legal advice from the city attorney and special legal counsel concerning pending litigation in cause style John F. Jameson versus the City of Duncanville et al. Cause number DC-14-03379 in the 298th District Court of Dallas County, Texas. And item number 3 will be City Council shall convene into closed executive session pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney and/or special legal counsel to seek legal advice and discuss and consider the resignation of Council Member John F. Jameson, Place 5. So those are the 3 items that we will be discussing in executive session. And after that executive session is over, if there's any action to be taken, well, we'll, in one way or the other, we'll adjourn the executive session and come back together for the vote on anything that we have, or we will adjourn the meeting. So
Time being, man.
time is, I think I said 7:08. So at this time we're going at 6:08.
6:10.
So we will go into executive session at this point. I would ask the room to be cleared. we're gonna take them out of order. We're gonna go with item number 2, then 3, then 1. Item number 2. City Council shall convene and close executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Legal advice from city attorney pending litigation in cause style John H. Jameson versus City of Duncanville, cause number DC-14-0339, 298th District Court, Dallas County. Item number 2, there will be no action to be taken on this item. Then we're going to item number 3. Item number 3, the City Council shall convene into closed executive session 071 of the Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney and our special legal counsel to seek legal advice and discuss and consider the resignation of council member John H. Jameson, place 5. Absolutely. From the law firm that Bob just mentioned, the law firm, so this time we'll call you, sir, to give an explanation.
Thank you, Mayor Green. I just wanted to sketch out for the council again, and for the citizens that are here, the effect of Ms. Jameson's Councilmember Jameson's recent resignation letter. The letter was dated October 22nd, 2014. It was received on that day, as I understand it, by Mayor Green. Under the Texas Election Code, section 201.023, that letter, that resignation becomes effective on the earlier of the council either accepting the resignation or 8 days after it was received. So if the council takes no action to accept the resignation, then the resignation will become effective on Friday, this Friday, October 31st, 2014. Now, in terms of what the council does from here, the Home Rule Charter provides in section 2.04 that if upon a vacancy in the council, if the member who has resigned or for whom the vacancy exists has more than 180 days or 6 months in his or her term, then the council is to call a special election to replace that particular position, provided there is a date for that special election that can occur under the law. And that's where the interplay between the charter as it exists and Texas election code statutes affect when that special election can be called. Under the election code section 41.001, that code specifies certain dates on which, certain uniform election dates on which Texas law allows there to be a special election or a general election that is called. Under that particular statute, there are 2 days in a year on which a special election can occur. One is in the first November of, let's see exactly, it is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, or the second Saturday in May in an odd-numbered year. The statute further goes on to say in section 41.04 that in the event that the charter, that another law or a charter requires an election to occur more quickly than that, if that election does not fall, if those deadlines within the charter don't fall on one of those election days, then the election shall take place on the next available uniform election day. So that's a very legalistic, lawyerly way of saying that the election to replace Ms. Jameson will occur on May 9th, 2015. Now, that would not need to be a special election because her term expires on that same date as well. And so it would just be a general election. So the bottom line, the council does not need to call a special election for Ms. Jamison's seat because it would just be a general election. Now, one other item of significant importance, and that is what happens between now and when that date occurs of May 9th with respect to Ms. Jamison's obligations and responsibilities. The Texas Constitution, Article 16, Section 17, provides that in the event there's a vacancy in a particular position, that, quote, all officers within the state shall continue to perform their duties until their successors are duly qualified. That statute or that provision of the Constitution exists to protect the state from elected officials who find themselves in a mess, throw their hands up, and walk away. And that provision obligates them to stay there and to continue to fulfill their duties until a successor is appointed. I want to note that doesn't apply to a situation where an elected official is removed or expelled from office, either for official misconduct or other reasons. That's not a situation in which there's a concern about someone throwing up their hands and walking away. Instead, that's a situation where someone has committed an act in which that's caused them to forfeit their position. And there's some case law from various courts in Texas that have upheld the right of a council or other governmental bodies to expel someone, and at that point in time, they can no longer continue to serve on that position. So the council has asked what the effect of the public hearing, the forthcoming public hearing, might be on that, and in the answer to that question is, in the event that the council, after considering the evidence, determines, number one, that Ms. Jamison is guilty of official misconduct is set forth in the charges, and number two, if the council concludes that it's appropriate to expel her from the council, that expulsion would occur immediately and her service would terminate on that date. So unless the council has further questions about that, I'll sit down. Thank you.
Okay, on item number 2, that will not require any action from the council. The effective date resignation will be going to the final item, which is item number 1. City council shall convene into closed executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney and special legal counsel. Notice of a willful violation by any council member of Article 2, Section 2.10 of the Duncanville Home Rule Charter, and to seek legal advice concerning procedural requirements for violation. Item number 1, we discussed in the executive session a letter that we feel is necessary to be sent out concerning actions. It will be sent by me, the mayor. Appropriate if we read that letter. Following that, if in discussion, if could be a motion to send the letter, if that's what. I think that you have. Yes, sir. Very clear, thank you.
The letter would read from you on behalf of the council, Mr. Mayor. The council has received your letter of resignation. I guess, dear Councilmember Jamison, the council has received your letter of resignation. Notwithstanding your resignation, the council wishes to remind you of your constitutional obligation to continue to perform your duties of office until your successor has been qualified or you are otherwise removed or expelled from the council. The council appreciates and shares the calls for open government expressed in your letter, including your undeterred commitment to ensure that the facts uncovered during the city's recent investigation into violations of the charter are disclosed in an open, full, and transparent dialogue. This, of course, is precisely the purpose of the public hearing set for November 22nd, 2014. At that public hearing, the citizens of Duncanville will be able to hear and evaluate in full each of the charges leveled against you, the evidence supporting them, and any evidence you wish to present in your defense. Further, the council has invested significant time and resources in ensuring that the rules governing that public hearing are fair, impartial, and afford you every reasonable opportunity to defend yourself. The council made the decision to proceed with this hearing as a matter of last resort, prompted by serious allegations of Section 2.10 violations by you, and substantial evidence that such violations had caused and were continuing to cause dysfunction in government and the disintegration of city employee morale. The charter imposes on the council a duty to police such violations, particularly where those violations threaten the health and well-being of the city. This is the reason, and the only reason, the council is proceeding with the public hearing. After considering all of the evidence presented at the hearing, including all evidence you present in your defense, the council will determine whether you are guilty of these alleged violations, and if so, whether expulsion is an appropriate remedy. Should the council determine that expulsion is warranted, your constitutional obligation to continue to serve on the council will terminate immediately. Respectfully, Mayor David Green.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we accept the letter that was just read and authorize you, the mayor, to sign that letter and transmit it to Councilmember Jameson.
I would second that and offer a friendly amendment to that, and that is that you put on there any questions should be Paul Felding at this phone number.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Is everybody clear on the motion?
Councilmember Harvey said that his motion was to accept the letter that Mr. Fielding read and authorize you, the mayor, to transmit the letter to Councilmember James. And Mayor Pro Tem second that motion. Mayor Pro Tem Smith made a friendly amendment, and I didn't get
That the end of the letter would conclude with any questions may be referred to Paul Felding of the Tillotson whatever law firm and give his phone number.
Any questions may be referred to Mr. Fielding and name his law firm.
That's
Is that correct?
That's correct. I want his law firm.
If Councilmember Jameson have, is that what you said?
That's correct.
Okay. And Councilmember Harvey accepted the friendly amendment. Now, Mayor, we are ready to vote.
Is there any discussion on this before we vote?
This letter going anywhere